years and years and years later, I come here to LA and I'm so loved for being myself. Anyone who's getting bullied out there for being who you are,
find your group of people, find your community, find who accepts you, who has the same ambition, who has the same drive, who has the same interests, and you will absolutely thrive under that.
I want to really end bullying altogether.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of the Athena Vas Show. Today, I'm super excited because I have Auden Wyle.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
If you did not know, Auden Wyle is Noah Wyle's daughter.
Yeah, that guy.
How does it feel to be the daughter of a TV star?
It's, it has its perks. It's fun. I have not seen his show. Crazy fact. I know. I think I got in trouble in second grade for watching Grey's Anatomy instead of ER, but
no way.
It's fun. He's the best acting coach in the entire world. I get all of my advice from him. And
did you ever go on set?
I did. So
Really? How old were you when you went on set of ER?
I was like, oh my gosh. I don't even think I had a memory at the time. I remember, I think one day specifically going on set and being there and like sitting in the chair and like him doing his thing and just being so bored. But then as I got older, I grew my appreciation for it a bit more.
How cool is that? You're a little kid under 5 years old, literally on set of ER, watching your father
do open heart surgery. Just like, the craziest.
Did you ever see him prepare for a role?
Yeah, I mean, he does prep in, I think, the most noble way possible. He just reads all the scripts. He'll do all the research. He'll read the book. He's a big history guy. So also with school, he's very helpful with like history or anything like that because he loves to do deep dives and like really learn and educate himself before a role, which I just admire so much. And so I would always watch him and everything. And
so what inspired you to become an actress?
Honestly, I really do like to say, because it's true, it's in my blood. And growing up on sets, just the smell of a soundstage just gets my adrenaline going. And craft service and trailers and just the fast-paced movement. And also my brother and I sharing a pull-out couch during night shoots or whatever, because we grew up there. I think that.
Wait a minute, you would go on night shoots with your dad?
I would go on night shoots with him, yeah.
Did he force you or did you want to go?
No, we had the option to go home. Like we could have gone home, got a full night of sleep, but we're like, no, we are here. And so we would go and we would sit on night shoots and we'd have our little headsets on and be in Canada and be all like bundled up in our parkas and whatnot. And it was really fun though. And I enjoyed every minute of it.
So do you think that you took anything from your father to create your own acting abilities?
Absolutely. Watching him, it's funny because now I watch myself back and I have so many of his mannerisms and I'm just like, it's from watching you. I know it. It's like the goofy side of me though, not the dramatic side. I feel like I crafted on my own, but definitely the goofy side of him I've picked up and yeah.
So when you audition, what is your audition process?
My audition process? First, I have a panic attack because, I have to put myself on tape now. And then, I'll print it out and I'll highlight my lines and everything. And then I go to an acting class and what we do is we do inner objects. And so we'll go through and we'll be like, what can I use for this?
Which class?
I go to, she's the most wonderful person in the entire world, Deborah Lemon Acting Studio. Yeah. I have been with her since I was like 12 and yeah, she's amazing. But we learn inner objects. We learn what can I use for this? How to relate a scene initially to myself. And so I'll go through and then I'll take another notepad. I did this recently and I'll just write out everything that's going on inside of me and I'll do what's called an emotional diary. Yes. So what's, obviously, but kind of the leeway into the scene and, why am I here? Why am I saying what I'm saying? Why am I thinking this? Like certain things like that. And
I do actually the same process.
Yeah?
Yes. So first I worked with my coach, Rod Rowland.
Okay.
And he was a guest star on The Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. Absolutely amazing actor. And he went to Claire Chubbuck Studios. Mm-hmm. And he went to Chubbuck Studios and they were he does the same process that they do. And it took him 20 plus years to learn the technique, but he taught it to me in 2 years.
No way.
Because if you think about it, if you go to acting class, you're there for 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
And you're learning, you're taking the time, and you go up there, you only have like 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
So I would have an hour session with him once a week, and I did that for 2 years. So I accelerated very quickly. And I know all about the emotional diary, writing everything out, especially right before a scene. It really helps get into character, and it helps really activate the emotion.
Absolutely.
You become the character.
You become the character because you just want to learn and you want to get everything out there. And, you know, if it's also channeling, you know, what's going on with you and not ignoring that completely. I'm no expert on it yet. I'm trying to be, but I would say taking whatever day you had, if you had a rough day, if like you got a parking ticket or something, using what's going on inside of you and channeling that into your character and like
absolutely
using it in any way you can. And yeah.
So I want to know, what is the moment for you when you were a kid that told yourself, all right, I want to be an actress. This is going to be my career.
I say this, people don't always believe me, but it's very true. I swear to God, I was just born knowing like, okay, this is it. And I told my parents, I was like, sorry guys, you don't have a choice. And so as a kid, I think like my first role I accidentally stumbled into at summer camp. I just followed this group of kids into a barn. Weird. And it was a theater camp. And
There's a theater camp,
yeah.
Only in LA, right?
I was in San Ynez. So I'm from San Ynez, small little country town. Solvang, it's Danish town. Yeah.
Danish town?
Yeah, nobody. Okay, so Santa Barbara.
Okay.
North of there, 45 minutes to an hour away, you hit a small little town called San Ynez Valley. That's where I'm from. Yeah.
Okay.
Moved here when I was 15 for acting. That's a completely other story, but yeah. So Cinderella, fairy godmother, opening night, walked on stage, forgot my line, ran back off stage, grabbed my script, came back out, killed it.
Congrats. That improv right there, being able to think on the spot.
Absolutely. But that really just ignited my love and my passion for it. And I told my parents, like, this is what I want to do when I got a little bit older. And they were like, absolutely not. Because growing up, you know, they were in the industry and everything. And so we found a theater group about 45 minutes away called Adderley. Ben Platt studied there, and like all the people, it was a musical theater company.
And your parents founded that?
They found it.
Oh,
yeah,
they found
it. And so they were like, hey, why don't you give this a try? And so I really got into musical theater for a while. And my first show I ever did was Newsies. And I was just like a little background boy with my news cap and everything. And I joined musical theater for about 6 years. I got to do a lot of cool things through that. Got to sing with Andrea Bocelli on his record.
You sing too?
I sang. Not anymore. But,
okay.
When I was a kid and I had the confidence to, I just went out there and I did it. But I got to be on his record. I got to perform at the Dolby Theater when I was like 12.
I think you should tap into that.
I would love to.
You'd be a triple threat. Well, I'm assuming you can dance.
I can try. I have 2 left feet. I can do like the robot in the wave.
No.
I break that out any chance I get. But
you look like you would crush it on a dance floor.
I can try. I can attempt.
Okay.
I'll put my best foot forward. We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, so I did that for a really long time and I still was not letting up. And so I had a very serious conversation with my parents. I was like, hey guys, I actually want to do this. And so they were like, okay, yeah. And so
How old were you?
I was, I think, 13.
Wow.
And I just, you know, the love for it was so strong. And so we found a scene study class, also 45 minutes away from where I lived. And so my parents were driving hours round trip. And I was doing scene study and I was learning in Santa Barbara. And I did a showcase. And that's how I found my first manager. And then through my first manager, I got my first agent and everything. And I did it on my own because my parents were like, okay, if you're going to do this, you're going to do this on your own. You're going to learn. You're going to make sure that you want to do this. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
You know, a part of me wishes that I got an agent and a manager when I was younger. And I did have the opportunity, but my mom was so nervous And she was like, oh, I don't want you to get kidnapped. I don't know if this is fake or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of that too. So
Yes. And I lived in New York. So there came a time where I went to one of these casting calls that you heard on Z100 in New York. I think it was called John Robert Powers or something.
Yeah.
Then we go in there and it seems all legit and everything. And then they tell you, oh, you have to pay $5,000 to get your headshots. And then, you know, you do the classes. And it's like,
No.
if you have to pay, this doesn't seem legitimate.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Absolutely
so that's a
not.
message for everyone watching. If you have to pay to get an agent or a manager or pay for a school to help you, run the other way.
I did that as well because I was so persistent on it that I would sign up for emails and I would like take my mom's credit card and try to like sign up for like backstage or like whatever. And my mom was like, what are you doing? She's like, if you want to do this, I'll help you, but this is not the way to, don't pay, don't fall into scams. It's not legit.
I'm curious because you started acting really young. How did that influence you in school?
It was school. What a concept, what a thing. I really do enjoy school now, but as a kid I didn't. And so anytime I was working on something, for example, the Andrea Bocelli thing, I got to take a week off of school and go to LA and catch up on my work. And I think I really fell behind and I struggled a lot with learning when I was younger because I was so creative and because I only wanted to do, you know, the electives, the theater elective, the dance elective. I wanted to do everything besides academics. And I jumped from school to school for a while.
Why did you jump to different schools?
I think because nothing clicked for me. I couldn't comprehend like other kids could.
Well, did you ask your mom and your dad, can I switch schools?
Well, yeah, I did that too.
So were you in high school or elementary, middle school?
Elementary and middle school.
Oh,
and
wow.
then, freshman year of high school is when I booked my first acting gig.
Congrats.
Like, thank you. Yeah. That's so crazy. That feels like forever ago. But before that, I was just doing short films and indie films, which is the best way to get experience. And I love doing indies and shorts and everything. But this was like the real deal. And so I was in freshman year of high school. It was 2020. COVID hit. We were doing school outside in the worst weather conditions. So it was hot, it was cold, it was raining.
Outside?
School was outside. I went to, it was a boarding school. It was in San Ynez still.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so boarding school is outside.
boarding school's outside.
Damn.
I was a day student there, but it was a boarding school.
So how did you study for film and TV while being in boarding school? That's not even in LA.
It was gnarly. It was crazy.
I give you a lot of credit.
It was definitely a bit of a process, I would say, but I would just have the worst days. And then I found out, I came home, I was just crying. I was like, I have to do math and rain and like I have a cold. And I came home and I was doing homework and I got the most insane text message, which is, hey, pack your bags, you're leaving for New Orleans in like a week, from my dad. My dad was the one who told me that I booked my first job.
How nice is that?
Yeah, you know what's even crazier is I auditioned to play his daughter on a show, and that was the show that I booked.
No way.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And
you were a freshman in high school.
I was a freshman in high school.
What's the name of the show?
It's called Leverage Redemption.
Ooh.
It's on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone make sure you watch that, Leverage Redemption on Amazon Prime.
It's a fun watch. You won't regret it.
What's it about? Tell us.
It's kind of like a Robin Hood type of thing. So it's a group of people. You got the grifters and like the hitters and the hackers and whatnot. And they essentially take down like the rich and the powerful and the schemers and the bad people to help the less fortunate or the people who have been wronged. And
I love that.
everything. It's a really good show.
And it's filmed in New Orleans?
In New Orleans, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was really fun. So week off school for that. And then I kind of realized, like, I came back to school and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I have to find something new. And I wasn't learning. I was falling really behind. My grades were not good at all. And so I found a place called Fusion, and it offered online classes and in person. And it was one-on-one, like you and me. And this is my class for 50 minutes and completely changed my life. Wow. I take classes from 1:30 to 3 p.m. like every day, and except for Fridays. and it completely changed everything. I became a student with straight A's, 4.0 GPA.
Wow.
Smartest I've ever been, wanting to learn, wanting to engage, and it completely changed the game for me. And I could choose my own schedule. So if I booked a show tomorrow, I'd be like, hey, I'm taking 2 months off.
So it's kind of like homeschool.
It's kind of like homeschool, yeah.
I'm surprised that you weren't homeschooled.
I love my parents. I don't think that they could handle me for homeschool. I was a lot. And homework with dad is like a famous thing, right? Everybody's like not wanting to do homework with their parents. And so, yeah, definitely not me either.
So you play a lot of the troubled teen roles.
I do.
So you're still a teen, which is good because that's the best age to be when you're looking for acting work.
Yeah.
Because now that you're 18, you can play legally.
Oh, thank God.
And you can play younger, which is great, which makes you more marketable.
Yeah.
Are you a senior or did you graduate?
I'm a senior right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm taking a few courses at the moment, philosophy, econ, English, all the fun ones.
And yet you still play the roles that are the troubled teen. Bad girl. Are you still really naughty?
You know me. No. No, I think it's just really fun to play. I say the same thing with anytime I have to play like a mean girl. It's really fun to play the opposite of who I am. So I'm like, I never get to do this. Like, it's really fun to kind of like branch out, find that part of myself and explore and go crazy with it.
I definitely would agree because when I go out for roles, it's always the opposite of who I am.
Right?
Which is, it's fun to play because it also pushes me to a different limit and a greater extreme, and it makes it more fun for me.
Absolutely.
And I love the challenge of becoming the character.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun. And it's
always like the ones that hit close to home, the roles that are like, this is so me. They're like, sorry, you're just not right for it. And it's literally the opposite. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah, every time.
I know.
Yeah.
What is your dream role?
Okay, I've thought a lot about this. Going along with kind of like the troubled teen, I've come to the conclusion that it would be Angelina Jolie's role in Girl Interrupted, because it's so good. It's such like a gritty, nuanced role, and I think she just is absolutely flawless at it. And there's so much room to play. There's so much to do. There's so much to explore, and that would be just ideal.
I can totally see you playing that role.
It would be really fun.
You would be absolutely amazing in it.
We get scenes from it in my acting class, and I've never gotten a scene from that movie in my acting class. I'm like, please.
I've actually done a scene from that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Susanna?
So
I'm Gia. Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
I want to see that.
I loved it. I need to put that on tape again because that was 2 years ago. Yes.
We'll do it. We can film it.
Oh my God, we should.
We should film it. That would be fun.
Yes. Oh, I would love that.
Let's do it.
Yes. So I also, let's see. Have you ever dealt with naysayers?
Yeah, I think that was a big chunk of why I had to leave my traditional high school a lot was, I would be at the lunch table and people would be at like 2 tables over just being like, oh, like she's an actor now or whatever. And then just people would be so mean to me for no reason.
Bully you for being an actress? People
would bully me for being an actress, for having a dream. And that's fine. That's fine. Like, okay. But I proved them wrong and I moved to LA and I'm making it happen. But at the time I was like, that's interesting.
So you were bullied, essentially.
I was bullied for kind of just wanting to do anything, for putting myself out there, for doing any play, musical, anything of the sense. And people would be sitting at different lunch tables and they would pull up like pictures of me. They would like Google me. They would just like run up to me and be like, is this you? And like laugh about it. And I'm like, why are we doing that? But that got really exhausting. And then moving to LA, I found a circle of people who had the same ambition and had the same dreams and in the same world. And that completely changed. And I didn't know that those people existed.
It's so crazy because I had the same experience.
Seriously?
Yes. In middle school, and elementary school, I was bullied for being different and bullied for wanting to act and put on performances and shows because we'd have talent shows.
Yeah.
And everyone was kind of like very simple and they were embarrassed to be on the stage. And then you have me just doing a whole damn show. My mom made me my outfits.
Yeah.
And then we put on theater shows. I was Patty Simcox. And yeah, I wasn't the lead because I couldn't sing. But when the drama teacher, music and drama teacher, she was like, okay, I want Athena to read for Patty Simcox. And then I'll never forget, I just straight up looked at it and I was like, hi kids, I'm so excited. And just saying the hi. And I was like in 4th grade.
Yeah.
She stopped talking. She was like, who said that? Who did that? Read that again. And I'm like, well, me, you asked me to read it. I'm sorry. Like, she just couldn't believe that I did it so well.
You went for it.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do.
Yes. So from that moment, so I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm not just a performer. I can actually act too.
Yeah.
So it's quite fun. And yeah, I would be made fun of. Like, the kids would say, oh, you look ballistic. You look so crazy performing on that stage. But then all the parents were like, bravo, bravo. That was so good.
Yeah.
And then years and years and years later, I come here to LA and I'm so loved for being myself. And I think anyone who's getting bullied out there for being who you are, you just got to move to LA because you're accepted here for whoever you are.
Find your group of people. Yeah. Find your community. Find who accepts you, who has the same ambition, who has the same drive, who has the same interests, and you will absolutely thrive under that.
Absolutely. And I do not condone bullying by any means. I'm a huge advocate for loving each other and just accepting each other for who you are. And it's a big goal of mine to end bullying one day and go to schools and speak on stages about bullying.
Absolutely.
To the kids, because they don't realize that them being so mean and saying even a small comment can completely affect somebody's life. And people commit suicide and they kill themselves based on what someone else told them. And it's just absolutely inappropriate. And I want to really end bullying altogether.
Yeah, I agree. I agree entirely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming from a really small town. We had a lot of that. And I've known a lot of kids that really struggled with that because you're in such close proximities. And I completely agree.
So a message for anyone listening: if anyone's bullying you, stand up for yourself. Their opinion does not matter at all. You do you, and whatever makes you happy. Their stupid little opinion is just a reflection of how much they hate themselves, and they're actually quite jealous of you for being so awesome.
Yeah, stay true to you. Just, that's all we can do.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Or just call Athena and Auden and we'll come deal. We'll come handle it. But yeah.
Do you have a memorization technique that you do?
I do. I do a few different things. When I was younger, I would read my lines and I would write them out 1,000,000 times until I just got it and it was in my brain. Now I'll just read it a lot, or I call it like the page by page, where I'll go one page and then I'll read it again, one page, and then I'll do it without the script, and then I'll go on and then I'll connect the 2 pages and I'll keep doing that. But if I really want to get the meaning and the words down and understand where I'm going to in each moment, I'll do beat by beat. So I'll go through and I'll mark out where a beat ends and I'll do it from there to there. Even if it's 2 lines, I'll just do it from there to there, and then I'll go on and on and on until I find out where my behavior changes, what my character's thinking here, and why I'm doing this and X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
I love that technique. I think there's a lot of different techniques that actors can use to help them, and it's whatever works best for you.
Absolutely.
So when I learn a monologue, I can learn a monologue very quickly by writing out the first letter of every word.
I've seen that. Does that work?
Oh my God, it works.
I've yet to try that.
Okay, so let's explain.
Okay.
So let's say I had a monologue and it was super long.
Yeah.
I would literally take every letter of the first word, and you have to copy it exactly how the script has it. So if the script, for example, if you have the 1 line here, a 2nd line here, a 3rd line here, you can't put the 1st and 2nd line on the same line, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It has to go on the same formatting as the script.
That takes a lot of brain power.
You know, it works though.
It does?
It really works. And yeah, I learned it very quickly. Another thing I do, I have a timer, and I time myself and I just re-say it over and over and over and over again until I get it. and I make sure to do my lines in different places.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if you don't do your lines in different places, you can become accustomed to that one place. So that also helps me become more versatile.
Having each moment be fresh and different and new.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly. And there's so much competition in this industry that you have to make sure that you are the best possible version of you. And when you don't get the role, it's not that you didn't do a good job. It just wasn't the right role for you.
Yeah.
And a better one is coming that's meant for you, that's going to completely
I
transform
have a
your
little
life.
saying. Somebody told me this. I think it was one of my teachers, but they said, your next role is already out there looking for you. And I was like, whoa.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Blew my mind. I live by that. Say it every day. Yeah.
And every moment that you've ever encountered, every hardship has led you to this moment.
Right? Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We were destined to meet as
We
well.
were destined to meet in a coffee shop of all places.
It was
too.
so crazy. Oh my God. Because I was working a job that completely ate up all my time. So then what I did was I'm like, I actually just quit. And I'm like,
Good.
if I can't be like, and I lost a lot of money by quitting. But that's how the most successful people become successful. You just take that plunge and take that chance.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know that I work hard and I'm going to find something else. So if I'm like, you know what? This is eating up all my creative juice. I got to quit. And I got to go and strike on the picket lines. I got to go support my people. And I'm not even a union member. Right. So I'm like, I don't care if I'm not a union.
You still support. You still,
I want to come support. So that was the first thing I did when I quit. I went to the picket lines. And then after that, I met you randomly in the coffee shop because I wanted some water. And I was talking with you and your mom.
I know, we were hogging the water. We were just standing by. It was so hot that day. But it was
your
for
friend.
good reason. Yeah.
He spoke to me, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he said he loved my jacket. Yeah.
Well, Jaden, if you're watching this, thank you for this.
Yes, he brought me to your circle.
Yeah, he did do that.
Yeah.
And then we got to talking. My mom wears her little Lakshmi necklace, and you have your symbol. I think we talked about that as well.
Yes. Yeah, I had mine there as well. Yes.
I know.
Oh my God. Everything is destined how it's meant to be.
Everything happens for a reason.
It does.
Strong believer.
You also created a TED Talk presentation for the art of vulnerability.
I did.
Tell us about that.
I did. I work with a foundation. It's called Breaking the Chains Foundation, founded by a woman named Deborah Hopkins. She is amazing. And I went to an event, I think it was like a little bit over a year ago, and I really loved their entire message. I loved everything that they were speaking about.
Which was what?
The event was called How to Love Your Selfie. Jillian Rose Reed, she founded this entire idea, and it's how to love yourself, and it's body positivity, and it's mental health awareness, and it was the most beautiful event, and I was just really taken aback by it.
I think more people need to realize that you have to learn to love yourself first before you can give love to others.
Agreed.
Especially when you get into relationships, whether it's romantic or platonic. If you don't love yourself first, then how are you going to love anyone else? You need to show up for yourself first and work on your inner self.
Yeah, that's a lot that I put into this presentation as well. And so I did a lot of writing before that because I went through a lot, and I think my outlet and my way of expressing and healing is through writing. And so I'm named after a poet. I'm named after W.H. Auden. And so what better way to heal and process than through poetry? And so that's kind of what I did. And I wrote something because back in October of 2022, I was really eager to get to know someone, and they were just completely fake, and like I felt like I couldn't break through. And so I wrote this poem in frustration, and I was just it started out as like, why can't I get to know you? Like, you've got these walls up, sad girl stuff. And then it turned out this person hurt me in like the worst way possible, and that just flipped something in my brain, and I could sympathize with this person, and I put my walls up, and I didn't want to be vulnerable anymore, and I didn't want to hurt. I didn't want to do anything. And so I wrote the second half of this poem in understanding why. And my views shifted, and I very quickly learned that that was a really painful way to live, not just as a person that's naturally vulnerable, but as an artist and as an actor. and it wasn't fair to my craft. It wasn't fair to my family. It wasn't fair to people that deserved it, and it really wasn't fair to myself.
I agree completely. I think removing the roadblocks from your life is completely necessary for you to get to that next level of success and really find yourself. That's a big reason why I had to leave my old relationship. Like, we loved each other very much, but things went on in the relationship where it was blocking who I am. It was blocking my creative side. And I knew that in order for me to thrive and be my best self, I had to leave. And that also happened, you know, in my life with friends or family too, because sometimes those can be the people you love most can be the people that hold you back.
Yeah.
And that's what really is difficult, to realizing who is meant to stay in your life for now, or who is meant to be in your life for a lesson.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Lessons for sure.
Really.
And you can learn a lot, and you don't want to learn a lot, but you do, and you grow from it, and it all happens for a bigger and a better reason, essentially. Yeah.
I love turning your greatest pain into art.
I love that. Yeah.
And whenever I go through stuff, I actually write rap songs.
Really?
Yes. And I intend to produce those one day.
I really want to hear those.
Yeah. And they're always motivational. I got inspired by Cardi B, how she was a stripper, and then she wrote these songs, and then she became huge, and people are chanting her songs in the club. I'm like, I want to do that one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I know, I'm not trying to be a rapper, but they're pretty good lyrics.
You could. Put your mind to it.
Yeah.
You never know. Yeah.
So you also did a TED Talk presentation on the art of speaking to people?
Yeah, so I did one on the art of vulnerability, and then I did another one on perils of people pleasing. And so that's a big one for me. It's funny because I'll write and I'll express, and I feel like I hit every point, and then I can't do it in my own life. And so almost by writing and anything that I'm going through, if I just write it all down and I make myself seem, just to myself, like as an expert on the topic, and I go back months later and I read it, it really helps me. And it's like I can teach myself and I can learn through this. And so it really taught me how to stick up for myself. It taught me, I call them vulnerability vultures and people-pleasing pirates, because people take creative and vulnerable people, artists most of the time, and like completely go in and they take advantage of that a lot, and we can get really hurt, and it helps our art. You know, we make good things out of it, but I had to write and I had to express, and so that's why I came up with the presentation and the poem. And
I think
everything.
that's an excellent idea. For me, I write scripts.
Yeah.
I like to tell my story through my scripts, and putting that on the big screen really is my biggest goal, to inspire the world.
Absolutely.
Once I inspire the world through my movies, then I know it will help people in their lives and through different aspects. So I have this whole plan for my future, and it all starts from now. And you take small action steps every day towards your big plan.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to have your 5-year goal, your 10-year goal, long-term goals and short-term goals, and accomplish at least one thing every week towards that goal. And eventually you're going to be able to accomplish it.
Do you keep lists? Do you keep notebooks and everything?
I do. I like to handwrite everything.
Yeah, me too.
Wow.
Me too. Yeah, computer, it's just not as satisfying for me, you know?
It's not.
It's more personal when you write it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just feel like my creative juices start flowing more when I write things out.
Yeah.
How do you feel like you get your most inspiration?
My most inspiration for plan and life goals? This is going to sound crazy, but it's also not, and I feel like you'll understand. I really love to vision board, and so I would take magazine clippings, I would take, Pinterest, whatever, I would take soundstage pictures, I would take old sides, and I would just cut them all up, and I would glue them, and I would just, pray and say all of my intentions over this board, and just really get my inspiration from this, and visualization, essentially.
I think it is so important to have a vision board.
Yeah.
I call it an action board.
Yeah. Plan of action.
Yes. Yeah. And there's so many naysayers in the world who, like, one person saw me creating it and was like, that's so pointless. You wasted all your time doing this. You don't understand how much that puts a fire under my ass to work towards it when I see it every day.
Absolutely.
So for people that are watching, you got to make sure you make your action board or your vision board and you stare at it every single day. You look at that. Yes, that is your
Yeah.
plan. That is your blueprint for your future.
It's your motivator. Absolutely.
It is. Because when the problem is that life gets in the way. You got to make money, you meet a significant other, and your dreams just get further and further and further away because you become comfortable, you
Right.
become content.
Routine. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you have your dream in a picture that you can see it smack in your face every single day, it motivates you without you even realizing it because you
Yeah.
wake up and you see it. For me, I not only have a vision board and action board, I also have individual 8.5 by 11 sized of each goal that I want.
Perfect.
So I
Yeah.
even have Forbes billionaire, America's Women Billionaires.
Why not?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Because what I want to do with my income when I make it to be a billionaire is give back to help the world. Why do I need all that money? Why? I want to give back to my fans who believed in me. I want to create schools to help the education system. I want to change the education system to help students learn better because the education system is so messed up in a lot of places in the world. As you know, I was a high school math teacher. Maybe you didn't. Yeah, you did
I did
know.
not know that. No, we didn't talk about that.
So,
yeah.
exactly what you told me about the school, like in my head, I'm like, oh my God, if I was your teacher, you would learn so good with me.
That's what, yeah.
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 That's the reason why I became a teacher. So my mom didn't let me become an actress. She's like, no daughter of mine is going to be a starving actress. Okay. Just like every other probably parent in the world who wants you to get the typical job. She said, okay, you have to choose one thing. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll do math. I'm like, I'll help kids because my teachers put me down when I was younger. So I want to be the teacher to help see that math
Break
is
the pattern.
easy.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I do when I teach math, I tell stories to bring it to life, and I draw little pictures, and I basically do a little bit of theater stuff to explain the questions. The kids get it like this so quickly, and I'm actually quite good at it. But you know, that's not what I want to do.
Because you're colliding your passion with teaching. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I also teach special education students.
Wow.
And I'm very good at helping kids learn quickly and really understanding it. That's like kind of like my superpower, education wise. And I want to bring that all around the US and even in other countries to be able to help students really learn better. So that's another big goal. That's what I want to do with my large income and just give back to the world. Not be another big famous person who just takes the fame and the glory. No, it's not about that. I want to show my art. I want to inspire the world and I want to give back.
I think that's absolutely incredible. And and you have your vision. You have your vision board. You believe it also with every fiber of your being, which is the most important piece too, is acting like you're just, it's going to happen.
So I think, what I actually did to put that, I took my photo, I put in Photoshop of my headshot, and then I put a layover over a text, Athena Vas, America's Woman Billionaire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So guys, you should do that.
You should do that.
Create your own little magazine covers of what you want and just make moves every day to making it happen.
Completely agree.
All right. So it's time for the section of the show, Aphrodite's Confessions.
Oh.
What is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Oh, off the top of my head, cricket. Crickets. But they're really good. Okay.
How do you even get this?
You can get sriracha crickets. You can get barbecue crickets. They come in like little packets. And I used to take them to school. That's another, I probably honestly deserve to be bullied for that one, but I would take them to school with me.
No one deserves to be bullied.
No. For crickets, we can debate on that. But
is that it sounds very really classy, like pinky in the air. Oh, it's a cricket today.
It's a cricket, yeah. Yes, little pouches, little snack pouches of crickets. Yeah.
Have you ever been like tempted to go out and find a cricket and eat it?
So I grew up in the country, right? And so people would dare me to all the time. So like I find a bug on the ground, like, oh, you won't. I'm like, I will. I will.
All right, I know who to call that just doesn't give a shit. Be like, I'm down for it.
I'm down.
Yeah, because I'm like that too. What's the weirdest dream you've ever had?
Oh my gosh. I have so many. I think I'm going to have to go with this is so embarrassing to admit. I had the biggest crush on Leo Howard when I was a kid from Kickin' It. And I had a dream that he was playing ukulele in my childhood home backyard and like just sitting in the grass playing ukulele. And I woke up from this dream and my mom was like, "Are you okay?" And I woke up sobbing. I'm like, no. Why did you wake me up?
No.
Like being serenaded. So that's humiliating for me to admit.
I would
yeah.
love to be serenaded.
Right? Especially by Leo Howard from Kickin' It.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. For me,
yeah, I want to know.
I would say John Stamos from Full House back in the day. Yeah, play that guitar with that sexy hair. Yeah. But back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
With a little more muscle. He's a little too skinny.
A little more. Yeah.
I like him big, brolic.
Yeah.
So have you ever lied to get out of a bad date?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, tell us. Story time.
Yes, I have. I think it's really funny. So me and my girlfriends will have, my mom too, we have a code word. It's Alvin's Hot Juice Box. I don't know why I'm admitting this because now people know if I ever say Alvin's Hot Juice Box, like I gotta go. But I'm like, oh, shoot. I think I was on a date and I don't even know. I don't even remember. Like that's how fuzzed over I was. But I was like, oh my gosh. You know what's crazy is my laundry. I left it in for like 2 days. It's got mold all over it. I gotta go.
No.
I gotta go. Laundry mold.
Why was the date
mold.
so bad that you had to do that?
I think it was...
You're like, was a horrible kisser slobber all over you?
No, they broke out. This is really funny because it was also in the Barbie movie, but the guitar playing, when they're just like, won't break eye contact and they're playing guitar at you the whole time and singing, I'm like, oh, I have to go.
No.
I have to leave now.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Every time I had a bad date, I never actually walked out. Yeah, I never did that, but I would go into the bathroom just because I couldn't take it anymore, and I would go text my mom, and
that's what you do. You text the mom, yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh my God, mommy, this guy's so cheap." I'm like, he only gave me water. I'm like, I wanted a soda. He was like, "No, soda doesn't come with the meal." I'm like, the fuck? It can't. Like he brought me out on a coupon date. The fuck is that?
Groupon.
Bullshit.
Even worse.
My mom's like, "Oh, not again, not another one." And then these are people who are bragging about how they own their own business and shit. Like, shut up.
And they can't even splurge for soda.
I know. I wanted a little Coca-Cola, a little pick-me-up.
It's like $2.
I like the buzz.
Yeah.
So, if you farted in an elevator, would you blame someone else or say, "Excuse me"?
You gotta own it. You gotta just commit. You have to commit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually have a funny joke that my grandma used to tell. My grandma was so damn funny. She would make the whole party laugh. Everyone would wait for her to come. Like all of your boring stiffs would be like the Christmas parties. And then my grandma would come, be the life of the party. So her one joke she always told everyone, she would say, do you know what an Avon lady is? Probably not.
I don't.
Okay, so an Avon lady, this is like back in the day. An Avon lady is somebody who comes with a catalog and knocks door to door and goes into business and say, "Hey, would you like to look through this catalog and buy one of these items?" I guess it's like Amazon at your door. Right?
Amazon at your door.
So the Avon lady, she had carried all of the Amazon products, let's say, in her bag, all the Avon products in her bag as like a sample. Like, oh, do you want this? Do you want to buy more of these? So Avon lady goes into the elevator and she farted. So then she took out the evergreen spray from her bag and sprayed it all over the elevator. And then the guy comes in right after she did that, right after she farted. And the guy comes in and he said, "Hey, lady, smells like somebody shit on a Christmas tree." Because she put the evergreen scent in there.
See, she committed.
I know. She's just looking around like, who, me? Oh. For me,
pick myself back up.
Honestly, I don't know if I'd own that. I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Yeah.
You just throw one of these.
What would you do if you got locked in a supermarket overnight?
I think about this all the time. All the time because, okay, I watched a show called Superstore and there's multiple episodes where they get locked inside their store.
No way.
And I love it. I'm like, I would have so much fun with that.
What would you do?
I would probably, I think, first off, take those giant can displays and I would make myself a home. And then after I made this like little like can home, I would probably grab all my favorite snacks, preferably like pickles. Pickles, can't go wrong. I would do like a little board. I would make a charcuterie board just out of like pickles and olives and whatnot. And that's what I would do, in all honesty. Yeah.
You wouldn't go in the back register and rob the bank?
I'm so boring. No, I would want my charcuterie board of pickles. That's it.
I'd probably go in the feta section, the cheese section, just eat all the cheese.
I would do that too. I'll see you there. Yeah.
Have a field day with the feta, the parmesan.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm Greek.
You're Greek.
You love the cheese.
Oh, yeah. All the cheese.
So as an actor, what kind of genre do you prefer? Comedy, drama?
I would have to say drama. That's kind of what I lean towards. I really love to do dramas, but I also kind of feel like comedy, I can use my skill in drama and put it into comedy because, you know.
How would you do that?
A lot of comedic scenes come from a very painful place, right? Like you're watching a character stub their toe or anything like that. And it comes from like, you play into the drama and it makes it comedic. And so I kind of feel like they nuance and they balance each other very well, and you're able to do both.
I love that.
That's very fun, yeah.
For me, I actually grew up doing comedy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was compared to Lucille Ball, and I love her.
Yeah.
Maybe I just became her because I watched I Love Lucy so often in my life, but it was a really big compliment for me. And I did study at the Groundlings.
Oh, yeah.
So I love comedy and I excel at it. But I also really love drama. Drama is super fun because I get to really feel the emotion, and it's just so powerful, and they're so different. So I love both of them so much. I don't even know what I would choose.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. Well, I do want to win an Oscar. So
yeah.
I've never seen anyone in a comedy win an Oscar.
You'll be the first.
Right?
Pioneer it. Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay.
Put it on the vision board.
I will.
That's the next totem. Yeah.
I will. Ooh.
There we
Auden.
go. Starting point.
Ooh, I like that.
Let's do it.
So what is the best piece of advice that you've ever received in the industry?
I would have to say it's not even advice. It was more of just something that I observed. I went out to a lunch with my dad and a group of his friends. He's in this membership kind of thing. I'm not really sure, but it's called the CADS. And it's a group of actors that get together and they talk about the industry and they talk about acting and they get together and everything. And after going picketing with my dad, I got to go to one of these lunches and kind of just sit in, and they all sat around this table and just shared all these stories, and they laughed and they got emotional, and they just all loved being actors so much. And it came from a place of just loving the craft, loving the art, loving everything that came with the job. And that really inspired me. And I think I was quiet the entire lunch because I was just taking it all in, because it was really inspiring and something I think about daily.
I feel most like myself when I'm acting.
Yeah.
Even if it's other characters, I get this high.
Right.
And I just become so excited and so happy to play a different character.
Yeah.
And you know, in Hollywood, it's so hard here because you're constantly hustling for your next dollar. Mm-hmm. So when you have to worry about money, it's difficult to worry about your passion and your craft. So it's like, damn, when I take a minute and I don't do the jobs I don't want to do and the side hustles, you know, and then I do what I really want to do, I'm like, yes, this is what I want to do.
Right.
Yes. I want to keep creating, filming, making movies.
What makes you happy?
I know.
I don't like being still. I like to go and work on something. And,
yes. Yeah. We're creatives. So what's the worst piece of advice you've ever given? What's the worst piece of advice you've ever been given?
Ever been given in acting? Ooh. I don't know. I think it always comes from my friends that don't act, or my really close friends that are just... Worst piece of advice I ever got was from one of my best friends from back home, who said, you should just look in the camera the whole time. You know, make it really personal, make it really uncomfortable for your audiences.
No.
Yeah.
That's number one rule, what not to do.
Number one rule.
Unless it's commercial.
Yeah. I think you're going to go far. But yeah, that's the worst. Very technical.
So Auden, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Auden Wyle.
Thank you for watching another episode of the Athena Vas Show. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe and like this video if you want more of these. Stop listening to the naysayers. Just do you and be the best player in the game. Catch you on the next one.